Okay, we're going to start with 7.5 today. Look at percent problems. It takes us back to, we've been working on proportion. I think we've talked about some of this in the past, but you can set up every different way. You can make an equation with it given the word. But the simplest way, easiest thing to remember to do every single one of them, no matter if you're looking for one of the three things, is to set up this proportion. But it says is over of equals percent over 100. And how that's going to work, they're going to give you a word problem. So this one says 15% of 180 is what number? So we're looking for three key things. We're looking for is, of, and percent. That 100 will stay 100 every single time. So let's go through our problem. 15 is next to percent. So it's going to go in our space where we had percent. Of is with 180 is with what number? That's the part we're trying to find. So that is our variable. So that is x. X is going to go with is. Of is with 180. Now we have proportions simpler than we were working on last week. So that'll be nice. 180 times 15. If you want to set it up as an equation, you can. So anybody, 180 times 15, there we go. 2,700. So we divide by 100. X equals 27. Okay. So this is what we're going to use on every single problem. Doesn't matter if we're looking for the percent, such as this one. What percent of 64 is 18, 48? What percent of 64 is 48? So percent goes with the what part. So what do we use in place of what? X. Any variable. I like X. Of 64 is 48. So again, 100 always. We're looking for our percent of the 64 is 48. Now that's set up, what do we do? Cross multiply 4,800 equals 64 times x. 64x divided by 64. X equals, I believe it was 75. Yes. Okay. So now the other thing we're going to do with this is we're going to get past this, if that's okay. I've got one other part to introduce. Now, we've got equations with decimals. Last week we did some with fractions. And what we wanted to do was get rid of the fraction. So in order to make these simpler, we're going to get rid of the decimal. So we're going to multiply by 10, 100, or 1,000, something depending on how many places do we have. What decimal place is our largest decimal place? Tenths. So we're going to multiply every single part then by the opposite of that, which would be 10. So if we multiply 1.2 times 10, we would move our decimal over and get 12x, 360. 0.4 or 4/10 times 10 would give us 4. So now we can move x across. Get 8x equals 360. X equals, anybody else pop their head? 5. We're done. Okay, let's do one more of those. Yeah, so we have 0.21x equals 1.2 minus 0.15. So what's our largest decimal place? Hundredths. So we're gonna times by 100 for every single part. So here that means 2 zeros, so move it over 2 places. 21x, move it over 2 places. Equals 120 minus 15x minus 15x. 6x would equal 120. Divide by 6, x equals 20. Okay. So it's almost a little bit easier than the fractions because all you're doing is working with tens, 100s. You're just moving your decimal place. All right, so we're gonna do on 312. $17 to $31 odd. And 41 to 47 odd. So 17 to 31 odd and 41 to 47 odd on 312.